Hello, my name's Daphne Lane. My pronouns are she, her, and I live in the St. John's area. I wanted to thank you first off for building a region where for so many people it feels like home. Before I transitioned, I was an electrical, I don't know, I was a lead electrician. I worked up into becoming a superintendent, and I worked all across the country managing crews, building a life for myself while working with my hands. 45 states later, this is the place where I finally feel like I belong. So thank you. But that life crashed when I came out as trans. I lost everything. My job, where employees told me they weren't, or my job where employees refused to work with the freak. My community, my friends, my family. My dad told me I wasn't welcome at home. My mom told me I wasn't anything more than parts. And my siblings told me they didn't want me around their kids because I might infect them. I lost my spouse and I lost my kid. I was left alone while I was attacked spiritually, mentally, and physically, where at one point I was attacked by a man with a machete. But that kind of loss and pain doesn't just hurt, it breaks people, and it broke me. I struggled with severe suicidal ideation after that, and I've spent most of the last 2 years in the hospital because of it. But the thing is that I am not the exception. There was a trans girl by the name of Charlotte Fosgate who posted a picture of the city and said it's a beautiful view and a long way down, and then she disappeared. 9 days later, they found her body underneath the St. John's Bridge. A few weeks after that, there was another trans girl who had left Texas to try to escape persecution there, and she came here. A few weeks later, she was disappeared also. These hit me personally and deeply because of my own experiences. I had told myself for months that it should have been me and not them. And I believed that deeply until one day a person told me that no, it shouldn't have been anyone. Not me, not her, not them, not anyone. And that's the truth. But there are so many trans people across this country and even in this region that this is their reality. And so I started a podcast called Transplaining. And in this podcast, I interview trans people to let them share their stories to help humanize them. I interview parents and allies to talk about how and why they support the community. And I interview experts in all the different fields to try to help dispel myths. I needed this when I came out and it didn't exist, a place where people like me could be seen, heard, and understood, where we could talk about the hard things openly without shame. Because when we hide from the darkness grows. But when we shine a light on it, that's when change begins. But right now, there's too many trans people standing on that ledge, not because of who we are, but because of what we lose when we come out. Housing, family, employment, safety, visibility, even bathroom access. And this is where you come in, because you may not write the laws that define our rights, but you fund the systems that determine whether we survive them. And for people like me, that's the difference between stability and crisis, safety and harm, and sometimes between life and death. Too many trans people fall through those systems. Now, I don't know what your guidelines are when you guys do your funding, but visibility without access isn't inclusion, it's optics. So I ask you that when you fund housing, that you ensure that it's truly safe and affirming for trans people, that you require the organizations you support to be inclusive, not just in words, but in action, visibility, and accountability. And ensure that when you design programs, collect data, and allocate resources, that trans people are not just an afterthought. Because here's the truth, if trans people are not explicitly included, they are unintentionally excluded. Being seen is not taking a slice of pie where by taking that slice you leave less for the rest of us, but rather it's making a larger one where more people belong. And when we expand who is seen, who is protected, and who is valued, we don't lose anything. We become more compassionate, more understanding, more connected as a community. Trans people should not be heard only on days of visibility or in moments of performative action. We deserve to be seen, heard, and supported consistently as part of the fabric of this region. Because increasing the presence of all people deepens who we are as a society. Showing love, real, accountable, actionable love, is never a failure. It should be the standard. And if this region truly is a place where people can feel at home, then we don't need to be just allowed to exist here. We need to be seen here. Thank you.
Thank you.